What's up, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome back. We're in the studio. I wanted to just kind of stand and rap with you because it's better for my knees, to be honest. But welcome back. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you haven't by the end of the video, if it gave you video, please subscribe, share it with somebody who it would. Let's talk. You know what? I'm going to do this news style. Here's a headline that you won't see on a billboard. For millions of millennials right now, waiting to buy a home has quietly turned into a 3 to 5 year lifestyle. And I'm sure people my age are feeling this, and it's changing what they're willing to risk just to get a set of keys, because I know what I would do, right? Recently, Clever Offers surveyed millennial homebuyers across the board, and the story is stark, man. 67% have delayed buying because of housing market conditions, right? The economy. Among those who postponed, 56% have waited at least 3 years, and 23% have waited 5 years or more. 5 years or more, me included, right? What started as a short pause to wait for a better time has become an extremely long-term stall, just waiting for things to get better. And they never do. Let's talk down payments, because that's where the optimism often breaks, right? A 20% down payment on a median priced home right here is now a little over $80,000. Yet 72% of millennials don't have $75,000 in savings, right? And 55% don't have $40,000 needed for a 10% down. Now, here's the kicker. 47% have been saving for 5 years or more and still haven't hit those numbers. During those same years, home prices climbed faster than their savings, right? And the inflation made it harder to stash extra cash each month, right? Especially in Portland, because we're out, having a good time, whatever that is. We're getting down. We, don't look at me like you don't, because we do, right? We have to, as the economy's hard. So now layer in debt on top of that. Now 1 in 4 millennials has more debt than savings, and about 3/4 carry some kind of non-mortgage debt, credit cards, student loans, auto loans, what have you. 46% owe at least $10,000 and 23% owe $30,000 or more. 16% carrying $50,000 plus in non-mortgage. That's in non-mortgage debt, right? So that's not just a monthly payment problem. It affects credit profiles, right? Interest rates, whether they feel confident in taking on a mortgage at all. Put yourself in that position. You're saving, you're watching your balance grow, but every time you check home prices or run down the payment math, the target has moved farther. It's gotten even larger. You made the most money you did this last year, but the rent is even higher now. You can't even afford it. Never can. Seems like it's never going to be a thing. So 20% of millennials are worried that they won't even qualify for a mortgage at all. They don't even start talking about it. So 21% say qualification is one of the biggest barriers for them. And 23% worry that even if they do qualify, they won't be able to afford said payments down the road, due to the emergency fund running out. Over time, that creates a stalemate in the economy. Saving and waiting feels smart, but the distance between today's reality and your goal doesn't ever shrink. 2/3 of millennials have delayed buying due to the market, but the delay isn't measured in months anymore. For many, 3 years has become the new baseline, right? And 5 years is increasingly common, especially for first-time buyers. What used to, excuse me, I'm burping. I'm always burping in these episodes, dude. I don't know what y'all are doing to me. I'm burping, right? So what used to feel like a long delay now feels like it's normal, like it's standard. Yet while we're waiting, right, prices reset, inventory tightens, right? Rates are still unpredictable. After years of watching from the sidelines, many buyers start redefining what acceptable looks like in our eyes, more than in your eyes, right? More than half of millennials say they consider a fixer-upper, right? Or significant chunks would accept homes with pests, asbestos, leaky roofs, foundation issues, termites, or mold. If the price made ownership feel possible, I just want to have assets, right? You just want to have assets, right? Those aren't small compromises. They can mean tens of thousands in unexpected repairs, long-term stress that doesn't show up in the listing price, right? When price and inventory squeeze the options, location becomes another lever, right? Millennials draw a hard line at safety, but beyond that, many are flexible. If the price works, they'll consider living near cemeteries, railroads, busy highways, stadiums, stadiums, right? Huge, because I live next to a stadium, right? Or loud venues, which is like all of Portland. First-time buyers are especially likely to prioritize affordability over ideal surroundings, even if that means noisy neighbors or like an unconventional like scene or setting or whatever, right? Here's the twist. Waiting longer doesn't automatically lead to perfect decisions. Among millennial homeowners, 82% say they have at least one regret about a past purchase, despite the fact that many first-time buyers believe they won't regret anything before they buy. But top regrets include the following. I thought this was really funny when I was reading. Outgrowing the home too quickly, compromising on location, rushing the purchase, or ending up with bad neighbors, right? And then not feeling educated enough about the process, which is where getting a professional opinion is very, very important in the back. So what does all this mean for today's housing conversations? Millennials aren't waiting because they don't want to buy. They're stuck in a cycle where saving feels productive. It feels more productive than going out and doing something. Waiting feels responsible. And the market keeps moving anyway, because it's not going to stop. It's its own polarity. It's going to keep going. There's nothing we can do to stop it. Oh, that kind of looked good right there. We're moving now. Anyway, over time, the cost of waiting shows up not just in higher prices, but in the size of risks and compromises, right? So they're the compromises that you're willing to take, right, on the condition of the home. On the condition of the home, the location, and even their long-term comfort. If you're a millennial buyer, your next move isn't just to wait for better conditions. If I'm being completely honest with you, it's to understand what waiting is actually costing you financially and emotionally, and in future regrets. We can't forget that part, because regret is a currency. And if you're a real estate professional, your job is to help clients, right, to advise and help clients separate being truly prepared from chasing a version of the market that may never return. Stay tuned, for the 15-minute breakdown. I got another one coming out here on YouTube where we'll walk through specific strategies to evaluate your timeline, weigh trade-offs, build a plan that works in today's market. Not the one that everyone wishes would come back, because it's gone. Like this, please do like this. Share it if you can. If you're stuck on the sidelines, like many of us are, please share this with somebody so that they know there's something you can do. And subscribe. Stay tuned.